This is a game from the internet. It's Mr. Schlock, who's rated 1732 versus Purple Coyote, who's rated 1646. It's a 30-minute game from 2006, and it's white to move. This is continuing the section on bishops. A student of mine was playing white, and he couldn't wait to show me this game. When he reached this position, he stopped and said, "I have pressure against d6, this pawn right here, but it's defended by the knight, and the rooks will soon come to its defense too. My bishop isn't doing anything, and suddenly I remembered how you constantly yell at me about how I allow my pieces to stay out of play. I got really angry and thought to myself, not this time. C5, exclaim. Excellent. This is the kind of move that makes teachers proud, says Silman. Suddenly the slacker on e2 will jump to c4, so this bishop's going to come here, where it will be incredibly active. We also can't forget that this pawn sacrifice blows open the d file for the doubled rooks. D takes c5 double question mark. This leads to annihilation. Black had to try something like rook a to d8. Rook takes d6 or knight takes d6. So it's forced. I think this is not a fun option. Anyway, check here. White's crushing. Okay, so knight takes c4. Takes d8. f7. And the game is over. So white wins full exchange and crushes. Okay. So that was knight takes d6, which was forced. After bishop c4 check, it's game over. So rook. So this move was also really good because it attacks the pawn and triples on the d file. So that's why we have rook takes d6 is played here. Rook takes, knight takes, queen d4. One thing I was just looking at. This takes, check here. But it doesn't seem very good. Okay. Knight f7. If rook d8, then bishop c4 check wins on the spot. Because again, we can't capture, black can't capture, and that's mate. So, okay, so knight f7, queen takes a7, and white's extra pawn combined with black's loose king should ensure victory. Knight e5, or rook d8, rook takes, knight takes, queen d4, re-centralizing the queen, h5, queen b6, king g7, queen d2, bishop f1 is pretty easy since black is tied down to the defense of the knight here and the pawn here. White will end things by pushing his queenside majority and making a crushing pass pawn. Okay, so that's why we're looking at, instead of rook d8, knight e5, bishop a6. If this tactic wasn't here, then white would play rook to d5 with a huge advantage. So bishop f7, rook f7, check, takes, because the knight here is hanging. Queen c7, takes, rook takes, bishop d5, rook c2, b4, knight d3, bishop to b3, and white is winning, because if this and here. So So that was all just to prove that this move c5 works even if black doesn't take the pawn. Okay, so d takes c5, double question mark. Rook to d7. This just, you don't even need to calculate. This just looks like it's crushing. It's worth a pawn to activate your pieces like this. Queen e8, bishop c4. But you should calculate. Queen f6. b5, bishop e6. And yeah, black can't challenge the file. I don't think black had no opportunity to challenge the file because this knight is pinned. So white's pieces work together beautifully, and the bishop has gone from a useless lump of wood on e2 to a slayer of all things on e6. At this point, Purple Coyote, who's playing black, not wanting blood to gush from the screen, wisely resigned.